Avocados are actually quite underrated, you know. They get a bad rep for being boring and healthy, and guacamole is probably their greatest achievement. Whereas the reality is, the soft, creamy flesh of this fruit, vegetable, I'm going with fruit, is incredibly versatile and goes beyond just slapping on some toast. So here's a couple of ways you can use up avocados before they go bad, and a recipe that still blows my mind every time it works. Before we move on to the creative ones, I can't not mention guacamole. Everyone and their mother will have a way to make it, an opinion, and I'm not going to go into proper authentic recipes or anything. But my favorite thing about it is I never have to make it the same way each time. So it's a lot of fun to play with, and ultimately, it can't really go bad. I've even blended it, mashed it with a fork, used an electric whisk. I prefer it smooth, so I don't tend to throw in onions and tomatoes and stuff, but you can do that for a chunky style. I've added sour cream before, even soy sauce like I'm doing now. I love it, it just tastes great. One thing I do come back to a lot is actually dicing up tomatoes, but instead of adding them directly into the guacamole, I put them on a plate and add salt to them. The salting draws a lot of moisture out, but the tomato water with all that salt actually tastes really good. So I pour that in and then use the tomatoes as garnish, so I still get some tomato flavor into the guacamole while keeping it smooth. Delicious. So it's never a bad thing to use your avocados guacamole, and it's so easy to make, you can never go wrong. Use whatever you want. Oh yeah. Let's check out a more creative way of using them. Next up is something I advocate for a lot. I've made this on the channel before, deviled avocado eggs. It's a dream combo, and the bonus is it's a great way to use up 2 ingredients. If you also didn't get around to using your eggs, you can smash through half a dozen of these with ease. Couldn't be easier to make either. You need the eggs hard boiled, which is good if they're nearing their expiration date. And because we want these intact for serving, I'm poking a very small hole through the bottom of them to help let the steam escape and hopefully keep them nice and whole. Okay. Luckily I have a spare. You know, I could just feel that happening. Don't know my own strength. Into boiling water. The time can differ if you keep yours in or out the fridge, so I'm going to put up a little guide here so you know how long to boil for. Then, once they're done, I'm dropping them straight into ice cold water so they don't continue cooking, but more importantly, I don't have to wait ages before I can handle them. Don't have any good techniques for de-shelling, so let me know if you've got any, but hopefully if they're cooked long enough, they'll just peel off. Nice, even half slices. The filling is just combining the yolks and avocado, really. I'm going to blend these so they're a little bit smoother through the piping bag, but using a fork is just as good. It needs some mayonnaise for sure. If you can make some homemade, it's definitely worth doing for this. I'll link a short in the corner for a quick tutorial on how to make mayo from scratch, but no dramas if you're not bothered about it. Ready-made stuff will work as well. In goes the avocado. I like a touch of salt and paprika as well. And then all we've got to do is blend it up. Oh yeah. Now what I'll do is get it back into the eggs. I'm by no means a piping expert, but I think this technique works pretty well. If you don't have piping bags or don't really want to do them, I think just spoon them in, it'll work fine. This just makes them look a bit nicer, that's all. And pop it over the edge as best we can. And then just spoon as much of it as you can in there. That may have been too full. Definitely too full. This will be fun. Then we're just going to cut a bit off the edge, then we can pop them into our egg whites. And we can place our best looking ones. And there we have a great way to use up some avocados. Use up your eggs as well, fantastic for dinner party. You can eat so many of them. Trust me, you'll never have to throw away avocados if you've got this in your locker. Fantastic. Right, move on to the next one. Now this way I actually still can't believe works. Avocado, you automatically think fruit vegetable for savory stuff, whereas actually we can make a dessert with it. You can actually make chocolate mousse with an avocado. Something to do with the texture of the flesh, and the oils apparently are very similar to the ones in chocolate. I don't exactly know why, but I first saw this in the Gordon Ramsay book and it amazed me that it actually comes out like tasty chocolate mousse. I'm going to see if I can look it up exactly what it is. Its high fat content means it can be rich and creamy, and its mild flavour is easily masked by the chocolate. And again, it's one of these that comes together really easily. It's just mixing ingredients together basically. And works very well as a vegan treat if that's ever a requirement. This one you definitely do want to use a blender. You want it to be really silky smooth. You don't want big chunks of avocado, that's going to ruin the dessert. Make sure you get as good cocoa powder as you can get, because we want to mask that avocado flavour. We want it to be really chocolatey, sweet, and no avocado taste. So I'm going to be using a fair amount as well. about 50 grams to 2 avocados, which is always more than you think. And we're also adding in some vanilla just to help along with those flavors. You can use honey, or I see some recipes use call for like agave syrup. I'm using some maple syrup because I happen to have that to hand. A little pinch of salt just helps the flavor with anything. And then I found this on a vegan site, adding a bit of oat milk just to help things blend along a little bit. Normal milk probably does work as well, but I haven't tried it with that yet, so I'm sticking to oat milk. Just help things move along. And then we just want to blend it up. How good is that? Look at that. Now you can serve this up and be creative with whatever you like. I've got some of these very nice little glass jars, which I'm going to use. Add a few scoops in there. Look at that, how smooth it is. You have no idea that's made from avocado. And they need a bit of time to chill, preferably overnight. I think they need about 3 or 4 hours to properly set. Now it's been a couple of hours and this is looking gorgeous. Look at that. It really does look incredibly silky smooth. I still can't believe it's made from avocado every time I look at it. It looks like proper chocolate pudding or chocolate mousse. So you can actually make dessert with avocado. Now would I say it replaces chocolate mousse or pudding? Absolutely not. But if you need a vegan alternative or just have something a little bit different every now and then to use up your avocados, this is a great choice. Let's move on to the last one. The last one is when your avocados are a little less ripe, but you still want to use them up. Avocado fries, made in the air fryer and breaded. I was a little bit skeptical when I found this, and I haven't tried them before, so we're going to be testing them out together. But I love the idea of a creamy avocado middle with a crispy breaded outside. As usual, we slice the avocado in half, remove the seeds safely, and then we're going to be slicing straight lines through to hopefully create some fries. And hopefully I can scoop them out. There we are. Perfect. I don't want them too thin because I'm not sure how they're going to handle the heat. I don't want them kind of melting or squishing or anything. So keep them fairly chunky, but you feel free to experiment as well. And then standard breading with flour, eggs and breadcrumbs. And I've just realized I forgot the flour. There we are. Enough so I can do some nice coating. Now, seasoning the breadcrumb and flours is interesting. I'm trying to think of what would go well with avocado. I'm going to add some cumin, some garlic powder and some paprika. But you go with what feels right. Now I'm going to air fry these, so I'm going to get my air fryer tray ready. Then we'll take a nice piece. One hand goes in the flour, then into the egg, cover that with the other hand, and then finally into breadcrumbs. I'm using panko for this one, again with the dry hand. Now because we're deep frying these, the breadcrumbs sometimes don't take on as much color when you're air frying them. So what I'd recommend actually is putting your breadcrumbs into the air fryer for a couple minutes before, so they're pre-toasted. Get a really nice golden color then. Haven't done it this time, but definitely recommend it. And there we have them. I managed to get 8 fries out of 1 avocado here. I like the look of them. They look kind of tempura-like. Before we get them in the oven, good chance to just clear things up a little bit. Before we put this in the air fryer, we're just going to put a bit of olive oil on them just to help with color and crispiness, a bit of flavor as well. Then we're putting these in the air fryer at 200 degrees for about 10 minutes. There we are. Probably give them a flip about halfway through. I gave them just less than 10 minutes. Avocados don't have a doneness, so you're just basically looking for color on the breadcrumbs. But I have to say, they've come out looking pretty good. You probably want a dipping sauce with them as well, maybe something spicy like a chipotle sauce. But I'm going in raw just to give them a go, see how they taste. Oh my God, it's so hot. Wow. Wow, that really works. You get that wonderful crunch from the breadcrumbs with a soft interior, and it actually combines really nicely, almost like a fluffy, crispy chip. I don't taste the avocado too much, but to be honest, that kind of works. Thanks for watching, Home Chefs. As always, the ingredients and recipes will be down in the description, and I'll see you next time. Until then, get cooking.